Hey, how are you? Ugh, sorry if I look like crap. I just got off my shift over at guess where? Buffalo Wild Wings, everybody. Yeah, sauce them like they're hot, or something like that. Um, I just wanted to make a quick video, sitting here after I got off work, um, all wet from washing dishes, grease in my hair from having a hat on all day. Probably stinking from just sweating the whole time I was in the kitchen. Um, I just wanted to make a video. Um, it's been mulling around in my mind a while. I wanna I wanna leave Buffalo Wild Wings. Uh, don't get me wrong. I'm not just gonna like up and quit. I'm gonna find a job. Uh, I'm gonna go online or look around town. Try to find another place of employment. Um, then I'll go to my managers, give them my 2 weeks, work the 2 weeks, and then I'll leave. I'm not a I'm not just gonna ditch them like a whole bunch of other people did. Um, I think in the last like couple months or 3 months, we've had about 4 or 5 people. Uh, no, two of them that we just hired on. They're off. They're off the schedule. Like they're not even like they just decided to. They showed up one day and or they showed up like a couple weeks and then they just stopped coming in. One went on a vacation. Told us she was going on a vacation and then just never came back. Um, and then the other one missed one day of work and then I guess just decided he didn't want to come back. So those two are gone. And over the last, how long have I been working there? It's going on about 9 months at this point. I think actually by the 20th of next month it'll be about 12 months. So actually I've been going on. No, it was December. It was December, my bad. So I've been there for 10 months, going on 10 months. So at this point, honestly, I didn't want it to. I didn't want the cool feeling of actually working at a decent restaurant place, a restaurant joint, actually like go away. I wanted it to stay for a little while longer. But for me, I'm not sure if anyone else has got this, but there's grace periods in restaurants. For me, anyways, there's been grace periods. And what I mean by grace periods is there's a period of time after you get the job, after you get the position, that you go in, you get your training done, and then you're like, oh, this is a good, it's decent working here, or I like working here. And the grace period is the period of time where, most or everyone shows up to work. Stuff gets done. Things seem to be organized. And, it's all around at least decent to work there. And that grace period for me, for McDonald's was, I'd say about 4 or 5 months. I didn't like working at McDonald's, but there was a grace period where everything seemed to be organized, and then people stopped showing up. People started to leave, like the people who'd been working there a while. People started to leave, and then just stuff fell apart. It was really bad. We got a whole bunch of new hires, which then turned into another small grace period, which lasted maybe a month, maybe less, and then people started leaving because they're younger. They don't want to work. So the people who didn't want to work ended up just going, I don't want to work here. And they just left. They just started leaving, not showing up to work, calling in, no call, no shows, just those kinds of people. And it seems to me the younger um, the younger they get, the worse it is. I mean, obviously, when you're younger, um, you have a different attitude about things. So that probably doesn't come across to your minds like, hey, I'm basically destroying the entire operation of this restaurant by not showing up, and I'm causing the other people who actually show up, um, I'm causing their jobs to be even worse, even harder than they should be. Like right now, I'm getting paid like 11.50 an hour for Buffalo Wild Wings. I started off uh, at 11. Um, McDonald's of it. McDonald's I started off at 8 or yeah, $8 an hour. And then it went to, since I'd been there for 6 months, they raised it to 8.50. Or 6 months, 3 months is they bump it 25 cents. Then 6 months 6 months or more they bump it another 25 cents. So 8.50. Then they raised the minimum wage, and by the time I left, I was making 10.50. So it was decent for working McDonald's, but it was still pretty low pay. Um, and then I got to Buffalo Wild Wings, signed up there, and the starting wage was 11. And every 6 months they have an evaluation of your performance. And so I must have passed the evaluation that they gave me. Since it's every 6 months, I've only had one, so they raised my pay by 50 cents. So I'm making 11.50 now. And with how I've been working, if I work there another 6 months, so what's that? 10 going on 10 months. So another 2 months, I'll get another review. If they don't give me another pay raise, I honestly don't know what I've been freaking doing at this damn job. Because people have just been not showing up because they want to have a good time when they're supposed to be coming in for their shifts. So it makes my job harder because I close. It makes my job harder. I have to have other people come in earlier who are supposed to come in later, who are supposed to help me on my shift, who then leave early and leave me with more work. So luckily I have a really good coworker who works at the station next to me, who stays until she gets everything she needs to get done. All her duties are done by the time she leaves. So it's really good. But there are some people, a lot of them actually, most of them will just go, it's my time to go, it's my 8 hours, and then they book it out of there because they can. I can't. I'm a closer, and closers is basically you close the restaurant. You do not leave until the restaurant is fully cleaned and your stations are done. McDonald's, it basically meant the closers had to make sure the lobby was clean, the playground, if you had one, was clean, the front counter, the front area, and then the kitchen, the back area, along with all the dishes and all the sink area. You had to make sure all that was clean, all of it. And that, on average, took, after we closed at my restaurant, we closed at 2, so it took us about an hour and a half on average. And if it was really bad, it would take us till 4. One time, for somehow, one of my coworkers took some pills or did something so that she was so groggy and out of it that she couldn't work. She basically couldn't work. So we had the other closer, my coworker at the time, leave to take her home, and so that left me and the manager to do the entire store, to do the entire back, and that's bad. Like, we didn't get out till like 5:30. No. I would say they open at 5. We didn't get out till 4:30, 4:40, something like that. It was pretty close to opening. It was bad. I got like an hour or something overtime. Um, it was bad, but now for Buffalo Wild Wings, it's so much easier to clean. Like on average, I would show up 6:30. The restaurant closes at 2 on Monday through Saturday, and then Sunday it closes at 12. Um, it closes at 2 most days, so I would get in at 6:30, close till 2, and then I would need to clean until basically the time that everything was cleaned and I got out. So that's usually around 2:15, 2:30. Honestly, we get most of the cleaning done before we close. So for the most part, there's not much else, not much more cleaning to do afterwards. So we usually get out 2:15, 2:30. So it's pretty fast, to be honest. But when you have people that call in, like here's what I don't get. Okay, so our unemployment rate is so bad. People are saying that they can't find jobs they want. People are saying that they're not able to get a decent income. But yet my restaurant is in dire need of people to work. Like we still have good people that work like when they need to. But like we have in the entire restaurant, we have 4 people who work grill, like who are trained specifically on grill. 4 people. Me and 3 other people. 2 of them work morning and closing during the week. The other one works every now and again. Actually, the other one is out. My bad. He's out because he got a surgery and still hasn't come back. Like that's the thing. He was supposed to be out for a month. The month has come and gone, and it's 2 weeks after he was supposed to be back, and he's still not back. I was told it was because he messed up his back again. But like it's been 2 weeks after he already had a month to recover. He got the surgery, took the month to recover, messed up his back again somehow, and then still hasn't come back. And on top of that, I'm getting financial aid for school, so I can't make over a certain amount per year. Otherwise, they take the financial aid away because they're like, well, you're making over what we told you to make or what we told you can make. So we're not gonna give you we're not gonna supplement your education anymore. And I can't afford college every semester with the tuition. It's thousands of dollars. My parents can't afford the tuition every year. They make enough to pay for their house payment. They're supporting us with this apartment. Like I can't even pay for this apartment. My parents are paying for this apartment. And we're going to be moving back after this lease runs out next year. We renewed the lease, and some stuff happened. But I'm not sure if, as possibly many of you know, if you have a lease, you're responsible to pay until that lease is done. There might be some ways you can get out of it, but for the most part, you're responsible to pay for the lease for the entire time you signed on for it. Otherwise, it's a breach of contract, and that's even more fees. It just gets ugly after that. So we're stuck here paying for this apartment until the lease runs out, and then we're going to move back in with my parents, so we don't have to pay the amount of money we're paying now on this apartment. So we're just gonna have to drive up every day we go to class. So it's gonna be more money for gas, but you know what? It'll be much cheaper than what we're paying now for to to live right next to the college. So, um, I got off on a tangent again. Uh, but basically, what I don't understand is all these people are apparently looking for jobs. They're looking for jobs. The unemployment's so bad that so many people are unemployed. And yet I go over to fast food places all the time and they're always hiring. Like I understand that fast food isn't going to supplement your entire income. Don't get me wrong. Like I know a lot of people say they work 2 or 3 jobs just to supplement their income. But if you're not going to college, if you're not going to school, and you have all this time that apparently you want to use to work, don't get me. I know there are extenuating circumstances in certain cases, like if you're a parent and you don't have a lot of time on your hands and you need a decent job to support you and your kid, and like I don't know, you don't have enough money for daycare or something like that. I understand that not everyone can work these jobs. A lot of people are unemployed, but like all these other people who are saying that they don't have a job, and then I suggest, I was like, well, why don't you work over it was like McDonald's or over Buffalo, and they're like, oh well, I didn't really see myself working in fast food. You didn't see yourself working in fast food. You need a job. This society people need jobs, and I'm telling you, people who have jobs, and you're just going to throw it back in my face and say, oh, I didn't want to do that. You think I wanted to work at McDonald's? I was so hesitant to even apply for McDonald's when I first signed on there. I remember going around to different places. My mom drove me around herself with resumes, going to different places and going, hey, um, I just wanted to give my resume to see if you guys had any positions open. And if you don't right now, keep me in mind. I'll give you my resume. And about half of them said, okay, we'll keep it in mind. I'll give it to my manager. None of them ever called me back. And then half of them went, oh, well, we don't accept paper resumes. You have to sign up online. Like, okay. That's what half of them did. And we went around, and my mom was like, hey, why don't you sign up for McDonald's? They're always hiring. I'm like, I really don't want to. And she's like, well, you know what? A job's a job. Just go ahead and sign up just to see. I was like, okay. I signed up to McDonald's a week after we did that drive around all those other places. None of those other places contacted me back. As soon as I put in that application McDonald's, the very next morning, I got a call from someone, a manager. And she was like, hey, this is so-and-so. I was calling because I saw you applied to McDonald's. I have no idea to describe you the feeling I had when I realized that McDonald's was going to be my first, not official, but my first like job as a full-grown adult. It was, well, no, my first official job as an adult was at a tourist attraction near us, but the one I really worked for, because we knew people over at that tourist attraction, and that's how I got the job. And I'd volunteered there before, so it was pretty easy to get there. But my first official job that I had to work for was going to be McDonald's, and that was pretty depressing to hear that. But you know what? It was a job. It got me money. I started making my own money. I started buying my own things. I was feeling good about myself. And then when I started paying for my own stuff, it was looking good. But when I started getting older and I started having more bills that my mom and dad were like, Harry, you're going to pay for this now. You're going to pay for this. Like in my apartment right now, I don't pay for rent. And it messes with me because my parents are spending all this money just keeping us here. I honestly am looking forward to the day when this lease ends and I can just go back there and just live with them in the house they're already paying for. Because them paying for this apartment for us is just, it's messing me up mentally. There have been so many times I've been worried about money, and I talk to them and they're just like, don't worry about it, we'll help you with money. And I just look at them, I go, well, you're already paying so much money for this apartment. Like, I feel helpless. I feel like I'm 22, people, and my parents are paying for an apartment to keep me by a college that I'm still going to. I know people my age who are already making 4 times the amount of money I am. They're supplementing their own lives. They're living by themselves, have full-time jobs. I just feel so helpless sometimes. But my mom and dad assured me, they're like, well, we do this because we want to. Doesn't help my mental image any. It doesn't help me mentally, but, well, I guess it does a little. But even every time they say that, I still think about the money. But right now, I'm paying for internet, I'm paying for electricity, and I'm paying for all the utilities and everything for the apartment. But and I'm paying for food. So most of my money goes towards that. And it messes with me sometimes. God, I go off on so many tangents. Trying to get back on the main point. I understand that there's cases where it's not possible, or it's not very likely that you can just settle for McDonald's or just a fast food job. But those people who are out there who feel like McDonald's or a fast food joint or just a food joint in general is just not up your alley, but you're looking for a job that pays money, like, work experience is work experience. If you do good at a job, you will get a good reference. Like, work ethic, you develop work ethic. You definitely develop work ethic over at a fast food joint. Whether it's good work ethic or bad work ethic, you're going to develop it either way. So, but if you need money, or if you just want money, but you feel like McDonald's just isn't for you, you're sorely mistaken. McDonald's is for anyone who needs money, anyone who wants money. Buffalo is a place where if you need money or want money, you can get money. Like, I just want to go up to these people who just don't show up to work and go, stop being lazy. Like, you're making my job harder, and you're making me hate working at a place that, honestly, for the first 3 months, which was the grace period for Buffalo for me, for the first 3 months, it was an amazing job for me. I was getting decent hours. I was meeting decent people. I was able to, start learning, a lot more advanced. I was really able to consolidate a lot of the food, like, safety guidelines in my head. Like, it's you have no idea how much more information I have working at Buffalo than I did working at McDonald's. McDonald's, it was so basic that a teenager could do it. You could go to McDonald's, work as a teenager, and do the whole day, and you'd be fine. Working at Buffalo, I'm so glad I went to McDonald's first, because working at Buffalo, it stressed me out, but I knew my stuff when I went in there, so I knew what I needed to do. I just needed to figure out how to do it. And that was so much, it helped me out so much. I've just been getting so upset with these people lately, not coming to work, not showing up for their shifts. just all around, just not making my job harder than it needs to be. That's probably why I'm making. It's for a selfish reason. I'm making this video because it's making my job harder than it needs to be. It's making other people who work with me, it's making their job harder. And I understand people will leave. Food restaurants have very high turnover. People leave and go like as they want. But you know, it's how do I say this? It's not depressing, it's demotivating to just, go to work, find a job you like, go in there, have that grace period of all that time, meet some good people, and then just all of a sudden it just goes. It just goes. And it becomes it becomes some of the worst experiences you ever have, because the yelling increases, the impatience increases, the amount of people who come in to your restaurant increases each year. More people are born each year, more people get older each year, so more people are able to afford to come to your restaurant each year, but less people come into your restaurant to work. It demotivates you to a point where you're just like, well, why do I even try? And there was a couple times, I honestly want to say, where I went into work, found out that people had called in, and I almost left. I almost just got in my car, drove home, and just didn't work. Because I was so upset. I'm so frustrated with the fact that my job, which I liked it first. I loved the fact that it was so much better than McDonald's, and that I actually felt like I was cooking over there, like cooking decently, preparing food decently, preparing good food, using good ingredients, and just, it's a place where I can actually bring my family to. My family has actually come there on a couple occasions when I was working. I've made their food for them, and they go, you know what, this food is actually pretty decent. It's not the best. It's still pretty fatty food. But it's Buffalo. I mean, what are you going to do? It's bar food for the most part. All the wings covered in all that sauce. But some of the burgers in there, I like the burgers. We use real meat. We use real grilled chicken. A real good grilled chicken, I should say. And it's just I like it. I liked it there, but now it's just become a chore. It's just become another job. I didn't want it to become another job. It was a job before, but it was a good job. But now it's just a bad job because people just don't show up. People are just making my workspace hostile and just uncomfortable to be in. It angers me to be in this situation. But I need to find another job. But I'm going to work whenever I'm scheduled, for as long as I need to, until I find another job somewhere. I will not go into that restaurant and not work what I need to, not work what I am scheduled to. I am not going to no call, no show. I'm not going to just not show up. If I do not show up, it is for a good reason. It's not because I want to have a party in the middle of the night or in the morning before I have a hangover and I don't want to go into work. What the hell? If you have to go to work the next morning or the next night, how about just not partying? How about taking some responsibility for yourself, for your coworkers, for your job, for the economy? Keep it moving. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I'm just saying phrases. I'm just saying words. All right. The whole point of this video is I just wish people were honest on TV. I wish people were honest when I talk to them. It's like, I can't find a job. Well, this place is hiring. I know for a fact this place is hiring. It's always hiring. People are always leaving. Why don't you go there? Oh, well, I'm looking at other places. No, how about just say, I don't want to work there? And even then, you're sort of a hypocrite because it's a job. It's money. But you just feel like you're above the position somehow. You feel like you're above all of us who have needed to work there, who make money, and who that place is supported in their lives. I knew people working in McDonald's who worked 3-4 other jobs along there, and they're just like, it's another job. It earns me money. It's like, okay. I just wish people were honest. I wish people had integrity when they worked. I wish people had good work ethic. But sadly, with some of the younger people coming in, it's not happening. They're privileged, and they just don't. They feel like they don't need to work as hard as the rest of us. They do the bare minimum, and they get out of their shift, and then they're done. People just forget about it. So, all right. Well, thank you for listening to this. I've uploaded a lot recently. I think like 4 videos in the past 48 hours or 36 hours probably, actually. So thank you for anyone who's watched this. Just giving me a chance to vent a little bit. A lot of my other series, not a lot of my other series, my one series I have so far with the McDonald's experiences, it's nice to get that out there to let people know what I dealt with and possibly what they will deal with if they ever decide to go work in a McDonald's or just a fast food place in general. I'm not sure what the other places are like, but from what I hear, they're basically no different, because I've known other people from other fast food places, and they're like, yeah, it's basically McDonald's, just a different coating. It's just Taco Bell, Carl's Jr. Well, maybe not Carl's Jr. KFC. Just some places are more expensive. Some places they're just different coatings. Same concept. So, all right. Well, thank you for listening. Have a good night.